What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the latest episode of the GreenTeamers podcast. As always, it's your host, Ernie Marvin. Today we're missing Hugo, but that's all right. Shout out to him because he will be back next week.
Yes, indeed.
Today we're going to do things a little differently. We've decided that we're going to separate the two sections or two genres into two separate podcasts, still under the GreenTeamers name, but we just want to give ourselves the max amount of time to simply talk about the Celtics and simply talk about what we're smoking on, general topics, the usual rundown, but now we're just going to keep them separate. So with that being said, today we're just going to go over the last few games that the Celtics have had. I think it's 6 since the last episode. Again, sorry about that. We do want to continuously do this weekly.
Consistency is key. We're getting there.
Yeah, sometimes we run into everyday, literally just everyday live problems. Not even problems, just literally just everyday. Yeah, just life. So just stick with us. We are getting this weekly routine thing down and coming. And stay tuned. Alright, so we're back. The last time we filmed was, I think it was the 27th of October. So we've missed a couple weeks, but we're back and we're ready to talk about the Celtics.
Yeah.
We're just going to briefly go on from where we left off. So that was the Washington Wizards, the Chicago Bulls, and the Orlando Magic. So Marvin, give me your takes on those three games. What were your observations?
Before we get into that, Hugo and I did call a 3-0 sweep of that series.
Gotcha.
Orlando, Chicago, and Dallas.
Yep, okay.
Would have been right if Luka, didn't do Luka things.
Well, that was actually afterwards.
No, it was that three-game set.
No, because it was the Washington Wizards, the Chicago Bulls, and the Orlando Magic.
During that 3-game set?
Yeah, that was the three. Those were our next 3 games.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I was wrong. We're 1 and 2 in that series, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so no, I would have been completely wrong in that one.
Yeah, so going off of that though, I actually called it right, and I called us 1 and 2. Granted, I thought we were going to lose against the Wizards and the Bulls and then beat them. No, sorry. I thought we were going to beat the Wizards and lose to the Bulls and Magic.
Right.
Whereas we lost to the Wizards, the Bulls, and beat the Magic.
Oh, okay.
So I was kind of in there. I had the right idea. Like I said, I did think we were going to keep free falling just a little bit before we woke up and got that wake up call, and it seems to be that's exactly what the case is. But before we move on to those 3 closer games, again, tell me what your thoughts were for the Magic, the Bulls, and the Wizards.
I don't think with those 3 games, I don't think we played to our level of expectation.
Yep.
Like you see little spurts and little bits here and there.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, I still think we have a team issue in terms of who does what.
Okay.
Roles are still not defined on this team.
And you're talking about in the sense of those 3 games in that
those three games and as a whole
right now
so far this season. Like
gotcha.
We had a great game last night. We'll get to that shortly. Mm-hmm. But that was our first really good win aside from our win against Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Like we only have 2 definitive wins this season, and that happened to come last night and against Miami.
Agreed.
Aside from that, we're still a shaky squad. It's still early, but I think trades or moves need to be done because right now we can't sit there and go, oh yeah, we won these 2 games. They were great games. We'll be all right. This, that, and the third. No, that's fool's gold because what we've seen the last couple of weeks, the Celtics have problems. They have internal issues. Now, word going around is that the issue is between Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, 3 of them, and mainly Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart's always in the middle of all this shit because Brown and Tatum don't have issues with each other. My issue with them is they don't make each other better.
Like as far as complimenting each other?
Yeah, they don't compliment each other.
You think it's more of like literally a 1A, 1B, like you have to let this guy do his thing in order for him to go off, and you got to let B do his thing in order to go off.
In a way, yeah. It's like Tatum will be like Brown will score a couple buckets and you might see Tatum rooting him on, cheering him on, but in Tatum's mind, it's like, all right, word, bet. Let me show you what's next. Let me show you what I got. As opposed to trying to keep feeding him and feeding the rest of the team. Like, all right, word, Jaylen Brown's on a roll today. Let me see what I can do with Marcus Smart. Let me see if I can dish it to Schroeder, see if he can get the ball rolling. But no, it feels like they play more for their numbers, their personal numbers.
I hear you. And now that we're talking about those 3 games, I actually wrote down some stats and game notes. So if you see me looking over, that's what we're looking at. Let me see here. In the Washington Wizards game, Jason Tatum actually went 10 for 32.
Jesus
and
Christ.
Only had a total of 27 points.
Why do you need 32 shots though?
Why you need 32 shots is A, and then B is if you're going to take 32 shots, you got to come out with more than 27 points. Because I wrote it here, 32 shots should get you at least 64 points.
Right.
And granted, that's shooting 100% from the floor, and obviously that's not going to happen.
Right.
But like I said, for 32 shots, you got to hit at least 16 of them. Yeah.
That's a 40-point game right there for Tatum.
Exactly, easily, and for him to come out with only 27 points, you can literally see it on the floor. It takes away from the team because we're literally watching him shoot these 32 shots.
And he'll shoot himself in and out of games. If he's having a bad game, his demeanor, his posture, his body language. There we go. His body language on the court screams 5-year-old kid. Like, oh man,
yeah.
Like I don't want to play this shit right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you, and I see it mostly when he's looking for that foul call.
Yep.
And the worst part about it is, I think as fans of the NBA in general, we're actually excited that the refs aren't calling these easy ticky-tacky fouls.
I love it.
So it's kind of like Jason Tatum's got to realize that he's not going to get the same calls he was going to get last year.
Exactly.
And so now you just gotta fight through them.
And I've said that since Tatum started doing that whole superstar call bullshit like in year 2. And even then, I was like, bro, you're not a superstar yet. Don't be doing this shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now he thinks he's a superstar, so he's going to continue to do it.
Absolutely. But I think in his second year, we kind of gave him he's the next coming of the X factor for the Celtics.
So we'll give it a pass. But.
Yeah. So I think that got to him just a little bit, and especially once Kyrie, Gordon, once they all left, we literally handed him and Jaylen the keys, and we're like, take us where you're going to take us, and you guys are literally the main guys now. So
right.
To see that coming from our main guy,
it's not good. It's not good. You look like a diva. Carrying
on from that diva point, and I don't think I saw it in the Chicago Bulls game as much, but that Chicago Bulls game was an utter. It was almost as bad as opening night at the TD Garden. Let me look at the notes here. We were up. We were up most of the entire game.
Third quarter left, 6 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Chicago just started chipping away, and then...
Yep, that's literally what I wrote here. I wrote that we can split that game into 2 halves, and it's not even at halftime. It's literally the first 3.5 quarters, like you mentioned, and literally that other quarter and a half. That second half of the third quarter and fourth quarter, you literally, I forget what it is, but they literally went on like a 35 to 9.
Just in that third and fourth quarter, we dropped like 21 points.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
We didn't score at all.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, that first 3.5 quarters really showed what the Celtics are capable of, what a good team we can be with everybody just firing on the same cylinder, everybody on the same page.
Just like that.
Like, we're balling. Like we at that point, at that point in time, the Chicago Bulls were like 4-1 or something like that.
Right.
So they were a pretty hot team going into that game, and the fact that we were beating them for most of it, like I said, shows what we can do when we're firing on all cylinders.
And just like that, it can also show what our team is capable of in terms of just letting leads just blow away, slip away, and not having any sort of rebuttal or any type of way to just stop the bleeding.
I saw a whole bunch of nonchalant, just laid back, we're in the lead, so let's just cruise to the next game type of energy. And
a lot of shoulders down, looking at each other like, bro, what's going on?
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man. And Ime Udoka noticed that too, because he called that timeout in the third quarter once shit started just slowly nosediving, and then even then it was that was an early timeout, but it was still too late, which made no sense.
Yeah, and I think that brings us back to the Jason Tatum point, is that he's trying to shoot himself back into this game. So during the Chicago Bulls game, we're suddenly giving up this lead, So Jason Tatum is just taking these shots, trying to get us back into rhythm, but he's not hitting them.
Nope.
So he's playing iso ball, and I think you might remember this, but another narrative in the offseason is that we were looking for 3-and-D guys. You know what I mean? Let Jason and Jalen go to town, go to work, and then kick it out to one of these
like
guys.
Richardson and all that stuff.
So it's kind of like, if we're looking for those 3-and-D guys to kind of run the floor, get to their spot, pass it out to them, and have them make the shot. If we're playing iso ball at the top of the key, just bouncing the ball, just
those 3-and-D guys in the corner are pointless.
Exactly, they're literally just stuck there.
There's no motion going on, so their defender ain't moving, so they're deemed useless. They can't do anything to help you up.
Right. So that's kind of my point. Is like we made it a point to get these 3-and-D guys just to not play to their skill set. You know what I mean?
Right. And
like you're mentioning, there's no movement.
That week, it was that game actually. There was that game against Chicago when Marcus Smart went to the mic and he mentioned how Brown and Tatum, they need to pass the ball.
I believe so. I think after that game, that's when he came out. I think maybe it was post game or maybe the next day, but it was that.
Right.
And how do you feel about that?
Marcus needs to shut the fuck up.
You think so?
Well, obviously, yeah.
You think so?
Because he's not. You need to hear that, but it can't be him saying that because he has the ball enough in his hands, and we see what he's done with the ball in his hands. He's not somebody who needs the ball in his hands as often as he says he should.
So if you don't think it should have been Marcus Smart to say that, who do you think should have said it?
Horford.
You
think if Al Horford had the balls to just be like, yo, motherfuckers, y'all need to stop doing. I was here last time, y'all fucked this shit up, and left and came back, y'all still doing the same shit. That's what Horford needs to say. Because Horford has the clear bird's eye view of what's been going on, and he's the veteran of the squad, and he was there before Tatum and Brown really started developing into their roles. So he's that vocal guy who needs to say something, but he's not going to say something. And Schroeder could say something, but they ain't going to listen to Schroeder.
To be honest, there's something about the situation, and this could just completely be me reading the situation completely wrong, but I don't think Schroeder is meshing with the guys on like a personal level to where you can see it on the court. And I know you don't have to be friends off the court, you just gotta win on the court, but he just seems like the odd man out, even though he's still playing really well. He just looks like the odd man out. And it could just be me. Like I said, I might just be reading the situation wrong, but
I think Schroeder's the type of player that will speak up. He'll speak out for himself or any type of issues that go on. So he's not someone who's just gonna sit back and like if Smart and Tatum and Brown have issues, you know Schroeder's gonna say something. He's
gotcha. I like I said, I actually viewed him as, I didn't think, because of the situation that I'm reading, I wouldn't think he would say something. And to your first point, I don't think Al Horford seems like the kind of guy that
he's not.
So I agree. Maybe it should be Al Horford because he is that veteran presence. Which, real quick, shout out Al Horford, who's playing like he's 25 instead of 35, having 6 games now? No, 7 games. Playing out of I think we're already at 10 games, 11 games.
We're at least 11 games.
Yeah,
right now,
I don't know what I'm thinking, but 11 games in, having a great season, one of the best seasons. Looking like an all-star at this point.
Yeah, it was like 2017 Horford.
Yeah. But anyways, going back to your point, I think it should be Marcus Smart to say something.
You think?
I do think so. I think Jason and Jalen did play like nonchalantly, like they were just going through the motions, and you got to go out there every night wanting to win, knowing you need to win, and doing anything and everything you can to win. Okay. And they're not doing that. No. So if someone's got to call them out. So if someone does, and in this case it was Marcus Smart, you just got to take that off the chin and bounce back off of that. And I think that's what they did. But I think Marcus Smart calling them out was completely justified. Like I have no problem with the situation. Granted, it might cause some turmoil. Yeah. But I think it's like you're going to war with these guys. You want to know they have your back just as much as you have their back.
Now, do you think it did anything to resolve whatever conflicts or issues they have in the locker room? Like that meeting, do you think it?
I think it didn't add anything to the locker room, like in a good way, in a positive note. Mm-hmm. I think it did start, like I said, maybe it started a little bit of turmoil, but on the court, I don't think Jason and Jalen are going to let Marcus say that to the media. Everyone agrees with them or doesn't agree with them, Point is, we heard it. Right. I don't think that those two are going to let Marcus say that out loud and not show it on the court. In the back, they might still have an issue with them, but on the court, they're gonna, like I said, they're gonna respond. But showing it on the court.
I feel that.
Let's just keep the ball rolling here. After the Bulls, we played the Magic. That was our first win. I think we were on a 3-game losing streak at that point.
Yeah, we were hitting a 3-game losing streak.
Yeah, so Orlando was a good win. Granted, I thought they had our number in the summer, so I thought they were going to give us a little bit more trouble. But we ended up winning. A couple things I wrote down there is, again, the game was split into 2 halves. This time it was the 3rd and 4th quarter, where in the 4th quarter we really started to move the ball. Jaylen Brown was red hot. So overall, I thought it was a good team win to put it into short terms.
It was an expected win. That's why I wasn't expecting a loss there.
Yeah.
The game that really surprised me, and I was actually glad that we came out and competed. At the same time, Miami didn't seem like they came ready to compete. We beat the game against Miami. We beat the Heat. It was a good win for us, but at the same time, Miami wasn't playing to their full potential. Kyle Lowry got injured in the 3rd quarter or something like that, and Miami played like they were drunk, like they were a little off.
Yeah, that's actually what I wrote down, and that I noticed in the game is that Miami started off cold just like we did.
Yeah.
And we can't match that. If they're cold, how many times is Miami going to start off cold? You know what I mean?
Right.
If they're starting off cold, we have to come off hot and hit our shots.
Right, because if they started the game off rolling and we had that cold start,
it would
that's
exactly.
That's a 20-point blowout loss in the 3rd quarter already. Like we'd be gone out for the count.
Yeah. Another thing I noticed in that game is that in the previous games when we were on that 3-game losing streak, is I noticed the rotation was very short.
Right.
It was maybe like 8 guys.
Yeah.
Excuse me, and I thought Ime just had to do a better job of giving people like Peyton Pritchard, Jabari Parker, and Aaron Naismith. They might not be playing well, but you got to give them a chance to get out of that.
Right.
If they have a bad game and then they never see the court again for another 3 or 4 games, they're never gonna have a better game.
These motherfuckers were playing well in the preseason.
Yeah.
Pritchard, Naismith, like they were balling in the preseason. They barely touched the court in the regular season. Now I know you got Schroeder, you got Richardson, you have players ahead of them. You're giving Romeo Langford more burn than the rest of those other 2 players. I understand that.
Yeah.
But to your point, we're only playing like 10 men or 8 9 men. You gotta play 11 or 12. See what fits and what doesn't work, because Pritchard and Naismith aren't getting better just sitting on your bench.
Yeah.
And we've seen that when they do get spurts of minutes, especially Naismith, when you insert them into the game, they're productive.
Yeah, absolutely.
They come out and they're ready to go. They might miss a few shots, but their effort is there. You don't have to question the effort. The effort is there because you see them. You see them up, down, left, right, like diving, making plays, all that kind of shit. So it doesn't make sense to me that why we're not playing or giving them minutes, which makes me think that a trade might be coming.
Gotcha.
That will clear up some room for some of these players.
I just think this Miami game was the start of our turning point. Like here, we might have lost to the Mavericks, but you could even see in that game we played a lot better.
Right.
So I think this Miami game was the start of, like I said, this turn of, hopefully the turn of this corner. But I just think it's too early to be thinking about trades. So I don't think it's necessarily that Ime or the front office is thinking about trades. I just think I guess aren't trusting in them, because I think Brad did a great job throwing Peyton Pritchard right out into his rookie season. He just threw him right out on the floor.
That's it.
He caught, he was able to keep up, and that's how he won his minutes. But I think Brad definitely threw a lot of trust into these young guys, and there were times where you could see why he trusts them, and then there are other times where
why is this rookie out there right
Exactly.
No, seriously.
So it seems like Ime just doesn't trust the younger guys this time around, but to bring in what you were saying is there are going to be times where Josh Richardson is just having a bad game.
Right.
And you can take him out, plug Aaron Naismith, and if he's giving you 6-9 points, a quick 3, maybe 2 quick threes, that changes the game up.
Naismith and Richardson are the same fucking player.
Yeah.
I don't understand. If I had to choose one, I would rather have Naismith playing than Richardson.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I hopped onto the Aaron Naismith bandwagon. I think he can definitely keep up, and he he holds his own. But the way Josh Richardson played last night,
it was good.
He hit a couple good shots where I did not expect it to go in.
The defense was there. Like, I commend him for that. He played well last night.
Mm-hmm.
He seems like a down-to-earth, pretty chill person too.
Yeah,
I like him.
He actually meant I don't know if he said it post game or this morning, but he actually said that last night was the most comfortable he felt with the Celtics. So I think everything finally meshing together. For him to say that, it's translating on
in the
court.
game, in his play.
Yeah.
Okay.
So shout out to Josh Richardson, having a good game last night.
Good shit, man.
But the Miami game was a good team win. After the Miami game, we played the Dallas Mavericks.
And Luka magic happened.
Deja
Marcus Smart magic happened. That's what happened first. Let me correct myself. Smart doing smart things.
Mm-hmm.
Ironic. Dude fouls Luka with.
Okay.
That had been like 14 seconds left on the clock.
It was less. I think it was 11, if that.
And on the shot clock itself, y'all had like the Mavericks had 6 or 5 seconds, so the Celtics would have had a possession in return.
Did we have a timeout?
No timeout. I don't think we had a timeout.
Okay, but point is, we'd get the ball back.
Yeah, we would have had the ball back. He fouls Luka, so it erases the shot clock. They get the ball back. They dwindle the clock down. Luka hits a corner step back 3 on 3 motherfuckers at the same time. On 3 niggas. Yo. And that happened. I was like, well.
I wanted to be mad, but you can't.
I couldn't be mad.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to be mad, but you really can't be mad at that. That's just Luka doing Luka, and it's deja vu all over again.
For real.
But I completely agree. I don't know what Marcus Smart was thinking there, doing there. It was just, as soon as he did it, and I saw the shot clock go off, I was like, what the hell? And Ime actually came out and said that he didn't
foul.
He didn't instruct to make a foul. So Marcus Smart doing that was just kind of random, I guess.
In the 2-minute report, the officials did rule that Smart shouldn't have been called for that foul, but I'm like, it doesn't fucking matter. Smart still tried to foul in the first place.
Yeah.
So the fact that he tried to foul, doesn't matter if the referee called it or not. Why are you trying to foul for that?
Yeah, you're saying like give him some room, like let him
breathe. You got 5 seconds left.
Yeah.
Just play defense. That's all you have to do. You don't have to slide in and try to swipe your arms, any of that kind of stuff. Just play defense, bro.
Okay, I see what you're saying, and I completely agree,
bro.
So I don't know what happened there, but again, I wanted to be mad, but I couldn't because that was just a good shot, Luka doing Luka.
That was a good shot.
So I took the loss in stride because we easily could have beat them as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hit a couple extra shots, and the whole game is different. So
would have been a whole different perspective.
Mm-hmm. After the Dallas Mavericks, we played the Toronto Raptors, which was actually last night. I think that was one of our more solid team wins. Like we really actually, I felt deserved to win that game.
That was another signature win. A signature game for Robert Williams as well.
Ooh, dude,
he was everywhere.
Monster.
Everywhere.
That alley oop and one.
Yep.
Crazy.
That was dirty.
Yeah, that was dirty. And Al Horford having another big game as well.
Of course.
Again, still playing like he's 25. I said it before, 25, not 35.
And the Celtics are doing all this without Jaylen Brown as well.
Jaylen Brown's out for at least a week or two. He said maybe before that, depending how he feels. But the way we're playing right now, just take your time.
Yeah.
Let's not rush it because we are playing well.
We're looking good so far. It'd be kind of funny though if Jaylen Brown does end up coming back. Like say we go on a winning streak, we win a couple games, and then Jaylen Brown comes back. It'd be kind of funny if he comes back and we all of a sudden go right back to just losing games and having this sort of chemistry issue and all that kind of stuff. Because right now, without him playing, there's minutes to be had for Naismith and Langford, Richardson, and even Pritchard if they want to throw him in there.
And off your point there is you can really tell these past couple games that Tatum isn't looking to take as many shots,
right?
And looking to just make key passes, like making the right pass.
Which is funny. Like, why is that the case when Brown isn't playing?
Right. So I get what you're saying, and it would be interesting to see. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Brown is going to just add to that because, you know, as long as Jason Tatum can do what he's doing, because he might not be scoring 30 points a game, but if you've noticed, no one's talking about Jason Tatum having a bad game. He doesn't need to score those 30 points for us to consider him our star player. You can tell on the court already he's making all these dishing all these passes, getting, granted he only had like 5 assists or something like that.
Right.
But you can see it on the floor. Just playing to everybody's advantage versus him just playing iso ball. So I think when Jalen comes back, it'll be more of that. Like Jalen will just be someone else that Jason can pass to. But at the same time, I think Jason also sees that if Jalen is going off, if he's hot, then you got to let him have his, not his moment, because it's not his moment, but
just that sort of like, it's so like you make it take it type of thing. Like you make it, give them the ball back.
Yeah.
Like you play on the court. If somebody's hot, you just keep feeding them the ball until they miss that shot.
Yeah, and I think it's just, actual, just normal basketball IQ that if your player is hot and he's making these shots, you feed him the ball. You don't give it to anybody else. So with the win against the Raptors last night, we covered all the games.
Right.
We went 3-3 since our last podcast episode. So the record I don't think shows as well as we're playing right now.
Sitting at 500 since.
Nah, we're actually 5-6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're still under 500, but we're getting there. And like I said, the play on the court, you can definitely. The record of 3-3 since the last episode, I don't think necessarily shows where we're heading. With that being said, though, this coming week we're gonna play Milwaukee tomorrow. We're gonna play Cleveland on Saturday, Cleveland again on Monday, and then Atlanta on Wednesday. So we got 4 games coming up from today until our next podcast episode.
That game against Atlanta, I'm actually looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And Milwaukee, of course, obviously.
Yeah, I think Milwaukee didn't have the hottest start to the season.
No.
So I think it'll be interesting to see how 2 teams that are fighting to kind of get their rhythm going up against each other, see who gets the upper hand this time around. So as always, Milwaukee's a good game.
Milwaukee's had our number the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean they're the NBA champs. That's who, like you said last week, they're kind of them and the Nets are kind of the model of where we want to be at and playing at.
Absolutely.
So, like I said, we got 4 games coming up this week. And give me your take, Marvin. What are you thinking? And what's our record going to be out of these next 4 games?
Believe it or not, I think our 2 losses are going to come from Cleveland. We'll beat Milwaukee.
Back-to-back games?
Yeah, we'll beat Milwaukee and Atlanta. Our losses will come to Cleveland for some reason. Cleveland plays great defense. Their offense sucks, but they're a great defensive team.
Are they? I haven't been paying attention to Cleveland much this season, so my take on them as far as what our record's going to be is just kind of up in the air and what I remember and what I feel about Cleveland. So I actually think we're going to break even and go 2-2. I think we're going to beat Milwaukee, like you said, but I think we're going to split the series in Cleveland.
And then lose against Atlanta.
All right, guys, so just to wrap that up real quick, Marvin's take for next week is going 2-2, beating Milwaukee and Atlanta, but losing twice against Cleveland. I'm also going 2-2, but my take is we're beating Milwaukee, we're beating Cleveland, then we're losing to Cleveland, and then we're losing to Atlanta. So I think we're going to go on a little 3-game winning streak here. Okay. Kind of get us out of the negative for a second, but
lose the next 2.
And I think that's just because Atlanta, they have a good team, so they're just going to be a good game overall.
Okay.
And then I think Cleveland, after we beat them, we're going to kind of be like riding this high and thinking we cruise through Cleveland. Right. So we're just going to cruise through them again. And I think that's going to actually come back to bite us. So I think they're going to lose that second game. Okay. So 2-2 for me as well, though.
I hope we turn things around, because I don't want to sit. Once you start hitting December, January, and we're still in that sort of 7th, 8th seed sort of mix, you can't tell me at that point we're not looking at around like, we got to make some trades, we got to make some moves.
Yeah, I think that would depend on exactly how we're playing.
Yeah.
But I do see that being brought up in the conversation at least.
It has to be. Like, we can't be a middle-order team. We can't be at the bottom of the pack. If we're not one of the top 3 or 4 seeds in the Eastern Conference, and we should be, if we're not, then there's got to be some moves being done.
Yeah.
In this season. Don't wait till the off season. Don't wait for all that type of shit. Make the moves happen now.
I don't think there's time for us to see how we're going to develop. I think we just have to know, like you said, we have to know we're a number 3, number 4 seed.
Right.
Like, that's where not saying that we can't be better, but that's how good we have to be. We have to be at least top 4 in the East.
Right. That gives you a chance to compete in the finals.
I think that just about wraps up this episode. Wouldn't you say, Marvin?
Yeah, that's enough Celtics talk for today.
for today. So as always, guys, thank you for watching. We'll be back next week. Please leave a like, a comment, subscribe, follow us on Instagram. We'll put it right here on the screen, and catch you next time.
Peace.